Hi, in this video, I'm going to demonstrate how to process growth using Orange Slice Teacher Rubric. There's an awesome feature within it that allows you to continually check over a student's work and give them feedback throughout the length of a project. So I'm going to get started here just with building a rubric. If you don't have Orange Slice Teacher Rubric, it is in the add-ons in Google Docs. And when you scroll down, and I can't see it right now because there is a Manage Add-ons button down toward the bottom. And when I scroll down there and look at that list, what ends up happening is I'm able to add add-ons, but I have too many add-ons at the moment, so I need to actually remove some. Anyway, right here is Orange Slice Teacher Rubric. Make sure you install it. You could also Google it. You would find it in the Chrome Web Store and install it, and it would be in your add-ons here. I'll hit Score Rubric, and over on the right-hand side, it's going to pop up with a applet that allows me to build a rubric. And here's my number one tip anytime using Orange Slice Teacher Rubric. Create your rubric before you ever have the students do the project. And the reason why is because you want them to have the rubric and you want them to do their project directly on the same document as the rubric. So that way it's much easier and faster. If you have 100 documents to grade and you're creating a new rubric every single time in every document repeatedly, that can be very cumbersome. So I highly recommend make sure that you create the rubric first, push it out to students via Google Classroom. We use Google Classroom in my school district, and then have them just type directly on that document. Then when you run Orange Slice, it'll run efficiently. And so I'm going to first build my rubric here. So you can set it up however you want. You can set your performance levels. I'm going to have this as descending. You can switch it to ascending or descending, however you prefer. Actually, I'll do it ascending, and I'll create my own because I actually have my own rubric, and the creator actually has these fantastic rubric indicators that you can choose from already pre-built in. And so if you don't have time to be building a rubric, you can just grab from those, but I have my own. So if you have your own rubric categories ready to go, it's real easy to use. You just have to build it directly in. So what I need to do now is I need to score this rubric, but I need my rubric categories, my indicators. So I'm going to go to this other rubric that I have, and I talked to the creator about it, and he said what's really important is that you just have rubric categories here in this table, and then you have a table down here that has grade. And as long as you have those things, Orange Slice will work. So I have another table that I've built. Actually, I took it from somewhere else. I should be honest there. And I'm going to just copy and paste these cells like so. I'm going to copy that. And then I'm going to go into this one, and I have too many cells actually. So what I'm going to do is delete a couple columns here. So I highlight those two columns, right click and hit delete two columns. Then I can paste in the new rubric. I'm going to actually get rid of the words rubric categories there because I think I have it in my other one. And when I paste that in, it's automatically going to fill in the cells, and I'm ready to start scoring this thing. You do want to score it first. You do want to have it built and scored before you push it out to students. Okay, and so you can decide how many points, etc. So I'll make it 15 points. And then you want to set your grades. You can make it so that way this is 1, 2, 3, however you prefer. You can decide if they're weighted, and I don't need any grade adjustments. And I think my rubric's ready. So I just hit finish. And when I've done that, then I have mine built. As you can see, it's ready to start having me grade these different indicators, but I'm not going to grade those right now because there's no work on this. Okay, so how I would work this is I would push this out through Google Classroom. I would set it up as an assignment and have each student get a copy. So I'm going to do that right now. Okay, so I have the title done. You could put instructions if you want to. I set a due date, I set the points, set a topic. I attach the document from Google Classroom. I need to make sure I choose make a copy for each student, and I'm ready to assign. All right, so the next step is let's look at what it looks like from a student side. So let's go to the assignment. The students would go to their classwork. I organized this one under Orange Slice. Go to the assignment, the student gets their document. And right here at the top, this is where the student could put in their work. Okay, the student is done with this assignment. So the student would turn it in. They can turn it in here, or they could go back to classroom and view the assignment and then click on turned in. Either way is appropriate. And some teachers don't like to have them turn it in. They just like them to maybe comment down here that, hey, I want you to look at my work, and only want to turn it in at the final. It's just teacher preference. Whatever the teacher wants to do there is fine. So in this case, the student actually did turn it in. And if you do have the students turn it in, then what ends up happening is that the teacher will then need to make sure that they return it when they are processing this grade. So here's the teacher screen. I'm going to go to the assignment. We're going to look at the fake students assignment here. And because the rubric is already existing in the document itself, and the student just worked above it, Orange Slice will process much faster. Otherwise, what would happen is you would have to go through all that setup for every single document. So yeah, you want the rubric there, ready to go, ready to roll whenever you run Orange Slice. So you could use this great grading feature, and I think you should use it in conjunction with Orange Slice. I think it's a great way to give feedback. But to get to Orange Slice now, you'll notice that you can't see the add-ons in this grading feature. I'm going to click down and pop down this menu, and then you can see your add-ons again. This is good news that you can still see your tools. I need to zoom out a little bit because this is a little tight with all the different resources that I use. I'm going to go ahead and launch Orange Slice here. It's going to pop out with the applet off to the side. If I need more real estate and I don't want the comments over here, I can hide this side panel so that way I have a little more real estate to work with. And then I'm ready to start grading. So I can go back, and if I want to give actual text feedback, I can click on this box here, and under each rubric category, I can give additional information. Okay, and so then when you are finished as the teacher, scoring it through Orange Slice and going through all these different categories, then you can process growth instead of process grade. And what this does is it's going to give a preliminary score. If the teacher was to grade it that day, then this would be the preliminary score, and it just shows how the student is doing. So what it does is it inserts an additional table here that'll say teacher reviewed and show the growth and show what the results are. And then right over here in the feedback section is where it actually shows the text of what was written in the feedback portions when I was grading. Okay, so then the teacher, what they can do is they can return it and just communicate to the student, hey, I want you to revise it some more. They could do that through comments. There's lots of different manners at which they could communicate, hey, I need you to make adjustments. It's returned now to the student. So now the student is back into the document. They have writing access to it again. They can make the necessary adjustments and follow the directions that the teacher gave. And then once they are done, then they are able to go back and they can turn in the assignment again. They can communicate to the teacher. If they don't want to turn it in, and this is just a review, and they just want to communicate to the teacher that it needs reviewed, they could through the private comments. That way the teacher sees it. And now the teacher's back. So here I am as the teacher going back into the document. I opened it from Google Classroom. I'm in my grade view. I'm able to switch students at any time, by the way, in this wonderful grade view that Google Classroom has provided. I'm going to click on this down arrow so that way I can see my menus and I can turn on Orange Slice again. I'm going to turn on the feedback feature, and you'll see that you can't see the grading indicators like I did before. In order to see those again, I have to click on the actual indicators so that way I can start giving new feedback. I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. Okay, right? And when the teacher is finished, if this is just a checkpoint and need to process growth again, it'll actually create another table just like this, and it'll actually show the net gain or net loss there, and also other feedback. So what I need to do now is I'm not going to do that process again. You guys get the idea. I'm just going to hit process grade because this will be the final grade. And what's cool about Orange Slice is that once you have processed the grade, then it'll adjust the table. It's going to put in bolder color showing the final. It's going to take the grade and put it right up here in the title of the document. It's going to show in here the growth. Here's the final graded. So there you get an idea from what the growth was from before and the total points. And that, my friends, is how you can efficiently and effectively use Orange Slice to give continued feedback using the process growth feature.